Hello, good day everybody. We're gonna let the algos take this out. I got little Blaze here. Look how shaggy he is. He wants to say hi, and he also wants to watch the nature path behind the house here so he can see if there's any other dogs. And he also wants to watch. There's the sound. We got it. We're on. We're live. It's sending it out into the algorithms. Happy Friday, creators. Welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie. Hello. Drop a hello in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling today. What are the energies like for you? I'm gonna enjoy this beautiful time outside. Karen's here. Hello, Karen. I'm on time this week. I'm back at it at my normally scheduled hour. So yes, we're gonna let some people float on in. We've got an exciting Frequency Friday planned. I really felt like it was time to get back into some sign readings. So we're gonna look into what's next with everything to do with each sign and what's coming up. What is the next few weeks, the next few months, till the end of the year? What do things look like for each sign? So we're gonna look into that. Jason says, hopefully no keyboard issues. That was pretty funny when that happened, honestly. He had his keyboard freeze during the live Q&A, and it every time he tried to type, it kept, even when he didn't hit enter, it kept dropping comments, which was really funny. So it looked like he was just spamming letters, but he wasn't. He was trying to fix his keyboard. Yeah, isn't this nice today? It's nice to be outside. It's not too hot. I can tolerate the temperature. So, oh yeah, I've got my apple cider vinegar drink here. I've been drinking apple cider vinegar every day. I have a very sensitive system, and so just 1 tablespoon a day, and I kind of fill this up and I add some lemon, I add some honey, I add some fiber and collagen in there, and then I just sip on it throughout the day, and it really helps the most with, helps me with acid reflux. Like, I have no acid reflux if I stay on that. Karen says, I am so glad we have a sick kid this week, so we have been getting homeschool stuff done, but at weird random times of the day. Well, isn't that wonderful that we're able to do that? As homeschool moms, we're able to flex our schedule around illness and other activities and things, and we're not bound to that exact schedule. Yes, we have to get our hours in. Yes, there's certain requirements still, but it's not quite as strict, right? And I love that about the homeschooling. Manor, hello. How are you today? All right. So everyone, welcome to Creators on the Crest. My name is Stephanie. Creators on the Crest is a platform where you can feel safe to explore your soul, your spirituality. And here we rise with the tide and align with the truth. And we're always going for that objective truth. I'm not just talking about the subjective kind of energies where people could just say anything's true and therefore it is. All right, so I have a quick shout out. I just want to shout out to my mods. Jason, thank you so much. You're always a steady presence, and I truly love and appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. Jason's also a YouTuber as well, and he's getting busy on the other platforms and learning all the things on TikTok and whatnot as well. Kimberly is not here right now. She'll be on a little bit later. She had an appointment. So thank you, Kimberly, for also being a constant friend and confidant on this journey of life. Karen, thank you for being here. You're very consistently tuning in I appreciate you. I so love how you share your journey and participate with others and bring unique perspectives to the board. And then Tressa's here. Hello, Tressa, oh, we're kindred souls, aren't we? And you know, I am just so grateful that you're in my life. You can find Tressa on Instagram, Yourself Evolved. Be sure to check her out there. And I don't have Girl Gone Duffner as a moderator yet, but maybe I'll talk to her about doing that. But she is here on YouTube at Girl Gone Duffner 2443, and she's kind of just getting her feet wet with her channel and coming out. She's been in a hermit phase, and she's been a constant. She'll probably be on sometime today if her schedule allows. And I just want to say thank you and shout out everybody, and you know, really appreciate you all and what you do. Zeralath here. Hello, Zeralath. Is this a work and lurk day for you, or by chance do you have some time off work? My goodness. Zeralath, check out his YouTube channel as well. He has really some amazing deep dives into some esoteric wisdom. You're off. Yes. Well, that's good news. That seems like for a Friday, that's a good thing, right? Having a Friday off, maybe a long weekend. Just real quick, if you're a calendar person, grab your calendar. I wanted to mention the dates of the upcoming Q&As that I have. These are the live Q&As where I do the personal readings and the little mini readings. These are Sunday evenings from 7 to 8 p.m. Central. And since we have, you know, holidays coming up and stuff, I will be having a few of those Sundays off. So we're going to have a live Q&A on the 19th of October. So that's coming up this month. On November 2nd and November 16th. Then I'll be taking a break. So no Q&A on the 30th because it's Thanksgiving. My dear friend Roz will be in town from Florida. And so we're going to really celebrate with family and friends while she's in town. And then we'll have a live Q&A on the 14th of December, and then I'll be breaking for the holidays on December 28th. So no Q&A on the 30th or the 28th, but every other Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. that I mentioned, the 19th of October, 2nd of November, 16th of November, and the 14th of December, I will be there for you. So thank you to all my subscribers. You truly mean the world to me. I'm so grateful to have our paths cross here. And yes, and I see some comments coming in here. Thank you, Karen. Yes, thank you, Karen. Yeah, and you know, it does take a lot to show up and to press record and to put everything together. And this week came together really well for me with Frequency Friday, but not every Frequency Friday is like that. But you know, we're working with the frequencies, we're learning, we're testing different edges of ourselves. And so sometimes, you know, that edge is the I'm tired and but I still want to show up edge. And sometimes it's like, wow, I have the energy and I'm fired up and ready to be here edge, right? So we're working with those energies. We're, you know, allowing ourselves to explore and to grow through these energies, even if our minds don't always think it's the right energy for us or the energy that we want to be in. So Karen has a birthday, so on the 17th of November. Happy birthday coming up to you. So right before your birthday, I'll have my live. That's exciting. All right, so here we are. Here we are, everybody. Here we are. Yay. I'm taking a little bit different approach to today's live. Different and not so different in something that I've tried before. And what I've really been finding interesting in my studies of astrology, and you know, astrology is a lifelong study. Tarot, I even believe, is a lifelong study and practice, and it's an alchemy. And as are most of the esoteric arts, right? So as I immerse deeper and deeper into astrological influences, I have really, really enjoyed kind of those in between times. So you may have, there's always, it's kind of like sports in our modern world. Like, you know, there's, I think it's something like almost every day of the year there's sports. Probably by now, 365 days of the year, there's something going on. And it's kind of like that in astrology too, but there are these times where things are in certain positions, where there's these pauses or these in-between or integration times, and that's really what I've been looking at. But this week in particular, I was like, you know what? I was really called to look at what the moon phase was. And what kind of prompted this was that some of you came on the last live Q&A, and I was using the Spirit de la Lune Oracle, and multiple people kept getting cards for the waxing crescent, which was interesting. It's not the phase we're in right now. We're in the waning crescent of the moon phase. And I've got Blaze. Blaze is getting agitated. He hears the other dogs. So he's getting a little worked up here. But we're in the waning crescent, not waning crescent, waning gibbous. Waning gibbous. Blaze threw me off a little bit. I'm trying to get him to relax because he goes, eh, and he's like ready to go. He hears another dog bark and it's like, game on. Okay, so we're in the waning gibbous phase, and I was like, interesting. So we had a bunch of people get like the waxing crescent and that kind of thing, and here we are in the waning gibbous. So you see how different energies can affect different people's blueprints as we look into the energies, right? So sometimes the moon energies might not be what's going on with your sun energies or your Mars energies, right? But it's just interesting to look at these in-betweens and these different perspectives, and how at times one thing can be going on, but people can be in other energies, right? And this all is up to your personal blueprint as well. So I definitely encourage everyone to know their astrology placements, at least the basics, at least get a basic free chart online, and then go from there and just begin to piece your way through it. But what I wanted to get into was, what is this waning gibbous? Gibbous is such an interesting word. Gibbous. Do you like that word? Is it one of those that grates on you? Do you like it? Let me know. Makes me laugh almost. Oh, I got some birds really squawking here. I'll get a quick sip of my apple cider vinegar there. Okay, so what I come to feel in this particular phase, and this is just my own intuition, is that we are in an integration. So we've been through the eclipse portal. We've gone over some of the things to do with 3i Atlas. Ashley is here. Hello, Ashley. Zeralath says, I've got a plane flying overhead, the waxing gibbous moon was Lovecraft's favorite. Interesting. I'll have to look deeper into that. It's just very, I'm not surprised that this one, kind of this waning gibbous, kind of attracted me, because it is about going internal. So we've had the eclipse, we've had, you know, all this stuff, the Virgo season energies of clearing out and simplifying things, right? And so I thought it'd be fun if we shift our focus a little bit to a lesser known or talked about moon phase. And so I had to look up the etymology, because as you all know, if you've been with me, this is episode 39, okay, of Frequency Friday. Can you believe it? It's episode 39. I had to like start looking at that. I'm like, why am I not putting episodes on these? Because I'd really like to know how many I've done. So I went back and looked, and we're on 39. I started on January 3rd, and I think maybe there was one Friday, maybe two, that I missed due to vacation or something like that. But otherwise, wow, 39 episodes, that's exciting. So when I looked into, so those of you who have been on the journey, you know I like to look at the words and the meanings of words and look into that and study. I mean, I was the kid who used to sit around with a dictionary and a thesaurus just to learn new words. I was always fascinated and somewhat boggled by the English language because sometimes it falls a little bit short. But the etymology of the word gibbous is Latin. It's a Latin root, gibbosus. Gibbosus meaning humped or humped back. And it also refers to an emphasizing of a bulging or a rounded shape. So when we look at the gibbous moon, and I'm going to just show you artistic depiction here, and it, you know, kind of has this effect here. So it's almost as like you almost could look at it like this, like it's like the top of a cylinder, and we're only seeing like part of it. It's wild, and we know it's a spherical body, but it bulges and it kind of pushes out there. So it has like a certain effect depending on your angle and how you're looking at it in the sky. And so, you know, I wanted to get into this. And so the oracle reading is going to be interesting today because I've already pulled the cards for the oracle reading and we're going to work through them. And I really, really love that Spirit de la Lune. And it has multiple cards numbering from 22 to 27, I believe, for representing the waning gibbous. Okay, so this is exciting and we'll be going deeper into that. But now you know a little bit more about the waning gibbous and what that actually means, what the word actually means. So these are collective messages today. Just a quick reminder, I previously went over all the dates of my live Q&As, but also in every description, I have a link if you'd like to book an in-depth personal reading. I believe I list my hour-long readings in the description, but if you go to my website, I have some other options there for you as well. That's creatorsonthecrest.com. Would love to see you check that out. It's a work in progress, so please do bear with me on that. But all my links are there as well. Okay, and there's some other options if you enjoy the content, if you feel in the gifting mode this year. You can also check the link in the description for Amazon, and it's my wish list. It's my tarot and oracle wish list. And if you'd like to gift a deck that I have on there, I would love to bring it on and shout you out, pull a card for you, and then do a reading with the new deck, whether it be oracle or tarot. So that's another fun way if you'd like to support me in the creators community. And I just wanted to shout that out. And let's get into this oracle reading, okay? I think that's it. I think I got everything out there that I needed to get out. So you can find me on the other places, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Creators on the Crest. Okay, so for our oracle reading, inspired by the waning gibbous moon, we are going to kind of flow through some themes. So when we're talking about waning energy, it's the energy that kind of draws us inside. Now that can be juxtaposed against other energies that might be pulling us externally or pulling us into action. Okay, so it's up to each of us to find the proper balance for ourselves. But even going internal can still be a very active time, a very alchemical time. So a lot is going on. Something to remind yourself of and give yourself a little grace on that, okay? Karen said, when you turn the card, it reminded me of the top of a cupcake. Yes, it does look like that. But the word gibbous, I don't love. Yeah, it reminds you of those gibbon monkeys. Yeah, it kind of has that weird, you know, like, is this a good word? Do I like, you know, the word frothy. It's kind of like, do I like that word? Frothy. It reminds me of like the stuff you see in lakes and rivers that like, yeah, you know, like congeals in the like little quagmire. Ooh, I don't know, right? So, but really it means that bulging or rounded shape. So it's that energy going on inside of us, right? So we're going to flow through several different kinds of energies here. The first one is listen, reflect, guidance, devotion, dream, and surrender. So we're going to kind of move into ourselves with this waning gibbous energy. And because I was really motivated to keep things simple, okay, I've just donated a bunch of stuff out of I'm clearing, Jason and I are clearing stuff, right, out of our home. We're selling, we're doing stuff, we're making space for the new. I wanted to keep it simple. So I've already pulled some other oracle cards for each of these. So just to start us off, we got Listen. And it's a number 22 card. And now this one, you could almost call this like almost full, right? So this is that point when the full moon tilts into what cosmologists would consider the gibbous phase, right? And so during this time, it's kind of like all that energy of the full moon was going, right? And then we start to feel that pause. We start to go more inside and we listen, okay? Wow. I'm just getting, you know, that intuitively it's about listening to the call of your inner guidance system. It's the heart energy. For some of you, it could be the hermit energy, right? The waning gibbous gives us that opportunity. Now, remember, it doesn't mean you're not feeling pulled to action, right? Depends on your own personal blueprint. But we can work with these energies about, let me just do a check-in. Let me do a check-in with my heart, my body. What is it telling me? And the clarifying card that I got came from the Super Attractor Oracle. And the message that we got with Listen is, each time I choose to tune into spirit, guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. So remember, here at Creators on the Crest, we're about aligning with what is true. And we also want to be able to embody that truth in our lives, in our actions, in the way that we move. My time here in spirit, hello, welcome to Creators on the Crest. I hope you could settle in and enjoy the messages today. So when we're talking about the highest truth, you could even relate that possibly to the information that'll come to you during this internal reflection time, and we're going to get to the reflection next. You could be looking at that in a way of, what is my heart truly saying? What is my body telling me I need, right? And this takes practice because we have very active, very sophisticated intellects and minds. And yes, so this is energy to really go into your inner world and listen and let the higher truth speak to you, okay? Now, spirit is an interesting word too. Sometimes I like to say, tune into, you know, the universal vibes or the soul, because spirit to me can mean a lot of things in, you know, metaphysics and the way that people use that term. Spirit, it has kind of a sharper edge to it. But what we're talking about is the higher force. We're really listening for that vibration from the universe that's resonating inside us. And this takes practice. Now, Karen said this card matches your top. And yes, I'm using these colors, this color pen, like, I don't know why, but I've these corally colors that are kind of going toward red, but not quite red, have been really attractive to me lately. So I have kind of my heather red shirt and all of this, you know, and behind me I'm using kind of that corally towel. I don't know. Who's talking about cookies and ice cream? Jason knows I'm a cookie person. Jason's an ice cream person. And my favorite cookie, let me know your favorite cookie and your favorite ice cream. Do you hear that? I'm trying to look for it. Ooh, I think it's a little biplane. But I can't see it because it's a bit cloudy. I'm surprised they're out. I like just a homemade chocolate chip cookie, like I'm not a fan of Nestle, but you know, the Nestle Toll House kind of vibe. No nuts, just a plain old warm chocolate chip cookie to me is heaven. Okay, like I just love that so much. Ice cream, not as big of a fan. I never have been, and I know when you love ice cream, you love ice cream, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like sensitivity to the cold of it or it just doesn't do much for me. But I do like, you know how you can get a little bitty cup of gelato? Little bitty, just a little something. I like mint chocolate. I love mint chocolate flavor. So what do you guys got there? Woo! You love the chocolate chip too, but you're craving the sugar cookies, Karen. Isn't that great? Because you can do as like a little activity with your kids and bake together. Jason's crying about the ice cream, and we probably have 3 tubs of different flavor ice cream in there right now. He comes home with them. I don't think I ever buy ice cream. Like I might have a little on someone's birthday, that's it. Peanut butter. Snickerdoodles. Y'all like snickerdoodles? My time here in spirit says spirit and soul are not the same. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm not necessarily throwing them into the exact same category, but for me, when I think about connection, spirit, it just has a sharper edge to me. So to me, when I work with the language, it feels better to me to connect with the soul, right? Because I make that distinction because I don't do a lot of invoking of spirits or things like that. That's not my modus operandi, but that's why I kind of put that tilt on it. But I don't disagree with you. I know they're different and distinguishable between each other, but that's just how I tend to vibe a little bit better. Karen says, no nuts, they take up valuable real estate that should be inhabited by a chocolate chip. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Zero Last says, I like all sorts of cookies, but I love the sugar cookie because it's so simple and you can add stuff to it. Yes, you can. You can add to it. It's very versatile in that way. Oh boy, and we're all talking about sugar now. It's hard to stop. Yes, it's hard to quit. Cookie dough. Ooh, my time here in spirit says cookie dough. Yes. Oh my goodness. Like, I was the one, like, before, and I don't know, it's up in the air, right, whether to consume raw eggs, but I was the one that would, you know, back in the day when they were using raw eggs, I would just eat that up off the spoon, like eat a whole cookie's worth of that, you know, and I loved it, and I still do. Cookie dough or half-baked chocolate chip, yum. Very good, very good. All right, so apparently our inner worlds today are calling for sugar, but you know, this waning energy also gives us an opportunity to practice temperance and moderation, so we don't have to go too crazy on all of this. Very funny that came up. And maybe the sugar is representing an energy of sweetness that we all crave. You know, we've been moving through heavy and dense energies with the eclipses and everything like that. And so maybe it's some more of that. We just need to experience a little sweetness in life. We need a little reprieve there, you know, that could be another way we could look at it. And then, you know, after we're listening to our inner world, we're maybe honoring that we all need a little sweetness in our life. We are called to reflect during the waning gibbous phase. And I put the extra words in stillness and in calm. And so here's the waning gibbous reflection. And each time the brightness or the lit part of the moon gets a little more small, it's going this way, right? Down to the dark moon. And what card I pulled for this is really interesting because it's one of those things where when you are able to get in that place of still calmness, you sometimes or most times, we'll be able to tell if you're grounded or not. And we got grounding from the, what's this called? Oh, I love this deck so much, and I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll think of it. Go deep and explore your roots, grounding energies. Go deep and explore your roots. And I love the visual here of sitting under the tree, even laying back into, like nestling into the tree. There's a bird, there's a river. She has got a book in her hands there. And to go in deep within, that book could also represent, it could represent something about your ancestry that you're meant to learn. It could represent something about your life. So think about the book of life. This could be also representative of you perhaps tapping in internally to the etheric field of the Akasha, the Akashic records, the Akashic field, right? We can do that naturally, okay? There's a lot of people out there, I've been a part of this, that have many different processes for accessing those records, but they live and reside within because we are fractals of the universe. So I'm really feeling that energy for some of you. This might be a very, very good time. If you're really looking to unlock some of the secrets within, some of the higher wisdom that already resides inside you, that you would like to connect to your conscious mind, it really, really feels like now is a good time. And we definitely have the nature aspect. And I definitely knew I had to be outside today, even with the airplanes and the neighbors playing basketball and all the things. I knew that it was so important to be out here today in nature and just be and feeling the wind, right? And nature has that way of pulling us deeper into ourselves when we really take the time. And you know, sometimes I think there's days where we barely have enough time to just go outside, take a breath of fresh air, put our feet on the ground. But that's so important, even that grounding. And I'm also getting, for some of you, I have not tried this, but do any of you use like the grounding sheets or blankets? Have you tried those? Are they legit? Do they work? Because I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys. I know that I have a friend who does the grounding sheets or whatever, and supposedly it helps with like body aches and with a better night's sleep, but I have not personally tried that. I'd be interested. By the way, the grounding card was, I'm sorry, not grounding, reflection card was number 23. And the grounding card doesn't have a number, it's just grounding. Now we move on to 24. This is the guidance card. So we've quieted things, we've gone within, we're connecting, let's say with both soul and our inner spirit, whatever that needs to inform us of. Girl Gone's here, woo woo, yay. I shouted you out earlier, Girl Gone, but she's at Girl Gone Duffner 2443 here on YouTube. Go subscribe and check her out. Zaralath has YouTube on here. Karen, I think you have a YouTube. I don't know if it's active right now, but I think you've got a YouTube as well. Let us know in the comments. We'll support you all. So we're getting into guidance. Okay, so once we quiet, we're listening to ourselves. We realize, hey, I'm grounded or I'm not grounded, and I'm going to do what I need to do to get grounded. I'm reflecting on that. I'm getting still and calm. We have the opportunity to then gain some guidance. And I pulled this from the messages from your spirit animal deck. And we got the goose, and I was like, wait a minute, you know, when I think of geese, I think of honk honk and like they're gonna nip at you and stuff. But it says here, take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving. Okay, now I thought that was a really interesting way of putting it. It didn't say continuing your activities. It didn't say continuing on the aligned actions. It says striving. Okay, so for those of you who have been in a really driven place, a very ambitious place, the goose comes in, right? So you're flying, You're flying, you're in formation, you got the things, they're all happening, you're doing it. This is the time when you land and you just chill out by the lake for a while. So this is giving yourself permission. AM's here. AM, welcome. So good to see you. All right, so we got goose energy for guidance. Let me read a few comments here before I move on. Tressa says, I have a red light mat that I love. I do have a at-home red light sauna, and I love that too, but I don't use it enough. I need to get in there more. A vibration plate is my next obsession right now. It really helps with lymphatic drainage. Isn't it amazing how the lymph can clog and fill up and you might not even realize it? It's so subtle. In fact, I think Kimberly's out doing self-care with a lymphatic drainage massage right now. So that's just very interesting that you're talking about that as well. Your Self-Evolved has YouTube. Oh yes, thank you, Tressa. So Tressa's also here on YouTube, Your Self-Evolved, but she has also a lot going on in Instagram as well with a free 7-day energy reset meditation. Cool, take advantage of that, everyone. So it's Your Self-Evolved. Okay, Karen says, OMG, I have not been able to sleep at night, and I was going to try to keep myself awake today, and I was just, as you pulled this card, deciding whether I should let myself sleep after all. Yeah. And, you know, rest and recuperate rather than striving for the next thing. I can do that as well, like where I get in my mind and I'm like, I got to do the next thing, especially when you do accomplish something and you're kind of riding that high for a little bit. It's like, yay, I did that. But then what we miss sometimes is to give ourselves like, wait a minute, let me rest, recuperate, let me integrate that really consciously integrate whatever I'm meant to integrate instead of still striving forward and reaching, like knowing that I can trust that there's a rhythm to this. And that can be easy for us to skip, right? You guys have vibration plates. What is this? Somebody, you know, let me know. Are they expensive? Were they on Prime deal day? Did I miss the opportunity? Can you hear me now? Am I back? No, it glitched. How do I do this? Not like that. Am I back? Am I back? Can you hear me? Back? Woot woot? Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't know what the heck happened, but whatever I did, it's back. Okay, good. Good. Yes, and I was like saying while it was glitched, if it ever glitches, I will be back. Sometimes just refreshing the feed a couple times, it'll get buffered, it'll get all weird for a second. But if I end the stream, it's really annoying because then I have to put a part 2, part 3. And so I was trying to just bear with it. So very interesting that we were talking about like the vibrations, the vibration mat. I was acknowledging that I was seeing your comments there, and Girl Gone had a cool comment now that I'm back that I wanted to talk about. She said, I had another energy surge during my cycle this time and a full moon along with the hot flashes. Okay, so yes, and some of you may be picking up on this. There's like a solar hole in the sun. It's not a real hole, it's just where the elemental energies are different in that one spot, and there's definitely been some surges from the sun. So I wonder with your sensitivity levels if you're really picking up on that. There's a great YouTuber, his name is Stefan. I'll have to get the link. He is like a physicist and something more than that, but he also is very soulful and spiritual, and so he's looking at all these solar flares and the different things, and and tracking them with like earthquakes and what's going on with the earth. And I think in the Philippines, just my heart goes out to anyone in the Philippines affected by that earthquake that just happened. It was 7 point something. And there's some seismic activity going on, I think along the edge of Russia as well. The solar flares, right? So some of you may be really picking up on when that energy hits, your body is informing you, hey, something just hit the planet, right? And so yeah, it could be that. And you know, that's kind of the benefit with the solar flares going on, but the moon in the waning gibbous, it kind of brings a balance, right? It kind of brings us the balance of the solar energy, very bright, sunshine, you know, out there, kind of external, we can all see it, it's glowing, there's these flares coming off of it. And then we have the moons quietly waning down to dark, right? And kind of pulling us in the internal world. And so some of you are going to be feeling these energies. And Grogan says, exploding solar flares. I watch Suspicious Observers. He has a YouTube channel on solar weather. Cool. Yes. Yes. And I would say this Stefan guy, I'll have to check out the one you're talking about. He is... So I guess NASA's on a shutdown right now. Who knew, right? They're like not sharing images right now or something. And, you know, we should have better pictures. A lot of the information he's getting is from the UK, which is a little suspicious in itself, because where's the, you know, rover pictures and things like that, as like 3i Atlas has come by, as like these things are happening. So it's very interesting, very interesting. AM says we have a rainstorm coming on Sunday. Isn't that, you know, and then we get into the weather. Yeah, I mean, y'all, I'm a big proponent of critical thinking and questioning everything. When things don't add up, ask why. You may not always get the answers, but that's part of how we should be exploring, is through critical thinking. And we've been grown up in a society that doesn't teach us how to think. It teaches us what to think through propaganda and constant bombardment, right? And it's really good to talk about this during this waning gibbous, because we can really take it in and reflect on that and really say, okay, but what's the truth in all this, right? Because that's the goal of ourselves as evolving creators, is we're looking for the truth. Girlgon's not surprised about NASA, yeah. Always ask the why, absolutely. So the goose, let the goose be a guidance for you. I just keep hearing like the honking when they honk, and I think it's so cute, you know. It's so cute. And then like, I never understand, like I have literally seen like a dead goose on the side of the road, and I never understand how anyone, unless they're just a butthead, could hit a goose. Like honestly, you can see them, they're huge, they walk across the road, everybody slows down. Like when I see that, I'm like, you're either just totally not paying attention, or you are like just a mean person and did that intentionally, because, you know, that's crazy. Anyway, I digress. I always say a little blessing for any animals that I see deceased on the road. That's been one of the things I have done since I was a kid. I always, you know, wish their soul, their spirit, if they have a soul. I don't know the answer to that yet. That's a whole other rabbit hole. But for their energy to be free into whatever their next form is. All right, let's get further on here, because this is exciting. We go to devotion next. Now, when I may have to get into like words that trigger religious kind of energies. Devotion would be one of them, or words that are used in very religious circles as well, and get into the etymology of those and really get to the deeper meaning, right? Rather than just the way people use it. So when I am talking about devotion today, what came to me intuitively was it was about a commitment to our unique purposes, okay? A commitment to our unique purpose. So I'm not talking about being devoted to necessarily like something outside of yourself or externalizing that energy. It really is about your connection to creator source, right? And the devotion to your purpose as acknowledged and honored through that connection. All right. So it isn't about expending a lot of energy to something outside of you or some, you know, man in the clouds kind of energy. This is much more internal and really like sifting that out. And it's number 25. Of course, 2 + 5 is 7. Devotion, devotional energies. And it's about committing to your purpose. Okay. And the card we got for this, really interesting. I went to healing with the angels, and if you've been around on my channel for a minute, you kind of know my take on the angelic realm as well, and how I don't invoke those energies, but I observe them, and then if I see a virtue that I like or an energy that I like, I learn how to embody that myself. That's what you do with archetypes, right? And we got meditation though, and I thought this was a really sweet card. First of all, she is pulled into herself. This could represent a little bit of a devotion to our inner child and really listening to that inner child voice, the voice that told you when you were young what you wanted to be. I want to be this when I grow up, or I feel that. And some of you may have wanted to do things that you did not see examples of in real life. Maybe you said, I want to do something along that line, but what's available to me? And a lot of us got shut down at that young age, right? So some of us might be having conversations with the younger aspects of ourselves and integrating those and bringing them back and saying it's okay for you to have always dreamt and wanted what you wanted. It was connected to your purpose. And then it's just a matter of figuring out how to make that living in this world, how to bring it in, right? Which is, for some of us, that is a purpose. Now, meditation is really interesting too. I think that sometimes people are like, oh, I can't meditate. I can't rest my mind. But meditation, I've always felt, could happen in many different forms. For one, you can sing and chant and use music. There are walking meditations. When you're walking in nature, it tends to have a very meditative force to it, right? Or a pull that pulls you into that. Some of you may have other methods of going into meditation. It does not have to be just sitting still and closing your eyes, and it can be, but it doesn't have to be just that, right? We can really participate in different types of meditative energies that will connect us with our purpose, right? Maybe it's art. Doing an art project helps you really connect in with that energy. Okay, so that's what we got there with the meditation. Oh, thank you, AM. Yes, I feel connected to nature. I feel connected to the animals. So I feel very called to honor them. And it's I think in the Tolkien lore, if you're into Lord of the Rings, but one of the blessings they have is it goes Heronieth Abueneth, which is may they find peace in death. And so that is, I'm almost wanting to cry right now, like, just a little blessing out to those that they can continue on their journey and find that peace. So Girl Gone said that the geese are very strong-minded and independent. They will chase you. Yes, they will. And I've seen people get chased by them and be terrified. I've seen grown men be terrified of geese because they've been chased before. And I think sometimes, the goose probably senses something in that person. Either it is, it's completely like instinctual, like maybe they have young around or something like that, or maybe they're just, they see another masculine energy and they consider that a threat, or maybe they're picking up on something in that person that needs a little bit of attention. That person may need to reflect and get a little guidance from the goose energy. Dancing. My time here in spirit says dancing. Yes. Yes, that movement is so meditative as well. The flow. So we go from listening, reflecting, gathering our inner guidance, the devotion, which is our commitment, like recommitting, maybe even reconnecting, recommitting to our purpose, and then dreaming with number 26. Now notice this gibbous moon, it's starting to, you know, get smaller and smaller. We're getting darker and darker here. Number 26, dream your purpose into reality, right? And for a lot of you, the structure has not been there for you to execute upon your purpose. There's a bee close by. I can hear the buzzing bee. So I'm just saying that because some of you may have that as a totem, the bee. I don't see it, I hear it. Very cool. Dream this into reality. And the card that I got for this comes from the fairy oracle, and it says, you're on the right path. The way ahead is clear and true. You've chosen the right path for you. There it is. I love these cute little cards. It's a very whimsical deck, great for kids, but also great for your inner child, right? Dream it into reality. You're on the right path. This is a reassurance that you're here, even catching this live, even being in these energies, even participating in the chat and the community. You're on the right path. There's something here. You're extracting the wisdom. The other things that you're doing in life, you're extracting the essence, the wisdom, so that you can carry forward not all the distraction and garbage, but the purity of what's meant for you to expand into. And yes, isn't the fairy energy so wonderful to work with? Now, I had traveled, had the, honor to travel out to Ireland and England, and it was at a much younger age, however, and I would love to go back and really be in Wales and Ireland and those kinds of areas and get a little further out and connect more deeply with some of that lore and that energy of the fairies. And so be around some of the stone circles and the sacred places. Because when I was traveling before, we were just like moving through, I could feel the energy there. And I was like, oh, I just want to come back and explore it more. But even just here, there's fairy energy everywhere. I just think about my ancestral roots going back, to the European area, to the Norse kind of zone, and maybe a time when in my ancestry that connection was deeper, right? It was, or more palpable, more explored. So it's definitely something that we can get to and get connected with. Okay, we have another goose comment. Geese usually only bond to their owners, just like farm dogs. Anyone they don't know will be chased off. Interesting. Yes, I know. Aren't a lot of birds like that? They're like bond to like one person and everybody else just stinks, like they're like whatever to everybody else. They are the guard dogs of the bird family. Interesting. See? This is what I was talking about earlier. Karen always has a unique angle and additional information, and it just so helps. And I learned something new. And I would love to look, it'd be fun to look into their dynamics, how they act, like observe them interacting with one another. They have such patterns, right? Even the way they fly. My nose is running, the energies are moving. I think the universe knows the tarot readings for each sign is coming up. We're on our last oracle card, number 27, surrender, and the last little bit of the waning gibbous. And so I got a card from, I think this is it's like the Starseed Oracle, the Love Oracle, I think it's called. And we got the Great Mother, surrender to the mystery and fall into her arms. And it's a little bit of a darker looking card because of the mysterious nature of it all. But what I really felt in this too one of the ways to look at this is the Great Mother is the purest form, the highest form of the feminine energy, right? Without all the toxicity and stuff, right? Without all the inversions. Mother Earth, our planet, right? And really, really surrendering into the flow. So when we think about mother energy, the mystery, falling into her arms, we're really allowing ourselves to flow rather than be so structured, rather than all the sharp edges. We're rounding things out and we're flowing, and that's the energy of surrender. Maybe this is called, actually this is called the Rose Oracle. I'm so sorry, it's not the Love Oracle, but I feel a lot of love coming from this. And what reminded me is there's this like rose crown, almost, to me, this is really interesting. It looks like wings of a bird, like a goose or something, that are kind of spread out. So I'm just gonna make that little connection right there. Like I said, it's very dark and maybe a little bit challenging to see on camera, but at some point I'm gonna have to get a really good picture of this and post it. Maybe that'll be a post in the community area. Yes. So that concludes our oracle reading. Listening, reflecting, receiving the guidance, embodying the devotion, dreaming and surrendering. And that's the waning gibbous energy. And maybe one way, right? I'm not saying this is the only way, but this is one way I was inspired to share that we could embrace this energy, right? Okay, so let's talk about these breakout readings, because I was very much called to do the signs again, because it's been a minute since I've done little mini readings for each sign, right? Okay, so we're going to do all 12 signs. And we're asking the question, what's up next? So we are getting into a little bit of that predictive energy, you know, now energy that's not in the present. Then when we peer into the future, that energy is in motion. So things can change, right? Right instead of left, left instead of right changes the dynamic. But we're also asking, when we're asking what's up next, we're asking from the perspective of, for our highest and greatest good. What are the energies looking like that are for our highest and best? How might we be able to apply that? How might we be able to work with those notions in our life to assist us, right? And I think most of us would like to have a smoother journey if possible. There's still going to be ups and downs, but could we get some guidance in a way of which, yes, we'll be able to handle those ups and downs with more ease and grace, right? And with everything we're going through and with the density of the reality that we're in, it can get a little tough to do so, right? So a little extra guidance, a little peer into what things might look like. Blaze sees somebody walking on the path, so he's growling. He's very connected to me today. He wanted to be in my lap. And it's probably because I got like comfy pants on. He likes to lay on comfy things. But yeah, we're asking for that ease and grace with what is up next. So what I always recommend is, if you know your chart, what you're going to do is look at your 4 pillars, which are your sun sign, your moon sign, your ascendant, and then your north node, which is a point, right? When you were born, and it represents what you're heading to. And if you have those 4 cornerstones, it really assists you in maybe a culmination of those energies coming together. Now, for some of you, you have duplicates in those areas, like your sun and your rising might be the same. For example, that's the case with my daughter, Libra sun, Libra rising as well. So you might have also, like, that's double meaningful, right? If you have it repeating in one of those 4 pillars. That is one way to look at it. Now, if your inner guidance says, no, I'm going to look at that Venus sign because I'm going through relationship things and I want to look at that, or I'm really striving to take a certain action, I'm going to look at Mars, you know, you can do all that. So find out what signs you have in the different placements, trust your intuition, and then see what gets presented to you, right? And so, yes. Okay, Girl Gone says ease and grace. and you have a bunch of Capricorn energy, and that's cool. I love the Capricorn energy. I'm a Cancer sun, so the Capricorn is my opposite energy, but Kimberly's also a Capricorn sun, and I find that I understand Capricorns very, very well. You know, it's just without much like effort, whereas some of the signs, they boggle me at times, like relational wise, when I'm relating to them, right? So yeah, it's just how it goes sometimes, and we're all meant to learn these different aspects, right? And one of my mentors has said in the past, while you have your certain blueprint, we are all the signs and we are all the houses, right? So you don't have to limit yourself. If you're like, I literally, like for me, I don't have, at least in my tropical chart, I do not have Pisces energy or 12th house. My kids have it all over their charts though. And so it's important for me to still understand that and work on embodying that energy. It just may be that predominant energy may be for me in another lifetime, right? And Jason, I think Blaze wants in. If you happen to be where you can let the little feller in, he seems pretty insistent. And sometimes when he starts that barking, he won't stop until somebody lets him in. But yeah, he's needy and spoiled, but that's the way babies should be. Okay, so today when we go, we're going to go in, excuse me, we're going to go in order, starting with the cardinal signs first, then we're going to get into the fixed signs, and then the mutable signs. This is just what came to me. I don't know why the order came this way, but it was clear that Libra wanted to start things off, since we are in those Libra energies right now. And then overnight, I was like, I couldn't think of who was going to be next. And I said, do I ask people, or what do I do? Excuse me. But overnight, I just it was like, no, Libra's cardinal. You need to start with the cardinal signs, and cardinal signs start things off. They kick things off. So we'll have Libra, Cancer, Aries, and Capricorn. Okay, we'll go through those 4 first. Then we'll get into the fixed signs energy. Fixed signs are the ones who are going to actually do the building. They're actually going to do the things. Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius. And then we'll move into those mutable signs, which add that element of detail and perfection and kind of bring everything together. So we have these complementary energies. Now, some of you could look at it like, okay, what signs do I have in what places, and are they cardinal? Are they fixed? Are they mutable? How do they inform me about how I move in my life? Mutable signs: Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces. So that's the order that we're going in today. And I have, in honor of simplifying things, we have the standard Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. We're going to start off with Libra, and then, oops, I just bumped my whole setup here. I have the Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle, which each reading I'll close off with an oracle card for each sign as well. So what is next for Libra? Let's get started. Let me kind of move my little guide things there. Move the oracle cards we talked about. Okay, let's clear out this deck. We're going for Knight of Cups was on the bottom, just saying, Knight of Cups. Libra, if that's an energy for you right now. Heart-led energy. All right, Libra, what's next for Libra? Whew. All right, Libra. So I think what I'm really feeling in this is because, you know, I'm reading this during your season, there's an element of your soul spark that is really coming through with the Sun card here, okay? This is celebratory. This is happy energy. Happy birthday to you, right? This is also could be a celebration of you've struck that balance that you always strive for in something, and this is an acknowledgement. It's a call to embracing it, to embracing gratitude for whatever it might be for you and how this is represented to you. And this energy feels very bright. Now, it could also reference some of the current solar activity going on and maybe your response to that. Maybe you're able to be fueled by it. And you'll see why I say fueled by it after I show you the other two cards. It definitely feels like what's next for you is fueling the fire. Okay, and there's a lot of fire energy here showing up for you, even though you're an air sign. So you may be really feeling a lot of passionate, strong energies. You may be feeling momentum. You may be feeling brightness and happiness. And I say, Libra, embrace that. Embrace that energy, all right? Because you're meant to be in this. This is your season for it. Now, along with the fuel that goes on the fire, we have the Five of Wands. Okay, so here you are being your bright, beautiful, and balanced self, right? Remembering Libra brings the essence of beauty to the world, to their surroundings. They're able to weave in things that are pleasant and beautiful and uplifting. But this is maybe an energy that causes someone with a lesser awareness to feel a little reactive. Okay, so for those people like that you may not be for, they may have a reaction to you, like you may just get that resistant reaction. This could be something that comes up for you in your personal life, or it could just be a general energy that you feel of like resistance, and that this is hard. Why is it hard? I feel so bright. I feel so full. I feel so lit up. Why is this challenging? And it may be that your light at this time or over the next, few weeks to a month is just such that some people that aren't relating to that energy may have a difficult time, and you may be surprised. Well, not now because I'm telling you, but look out for this coming up, that you might feel a little bit of resistance from someone. Okay, I don't think it's going to be long though in that energy. It doesn't feel very sticky to me. It feels like it's going to be constantly moving. And you got the Eight of Wands up next. This is a quicker moving energy. This is a breath of fresh air. This is a new message. This could be you experiencing something challenging or resistance to something. And again, because you all are the kind of people that are doing the inner work, you could bump into something inside yourself that causes this resistance. And you could go from feeling happy birthday to, I got to deal with that, But here's the Eight of Wands coming in. Here's a progression from the 5 to the 8, and some fresh energy comes in. So it could just be you putting your awareness on it and you knowing, oh, that's what that is. And it's teaching me something. It's informing me about this person, or it's informing me about myself. Now I got the message. Now it's coming through. This energy of the Eight of Wands, it can feel like something comes out of nowhere, but also it can feel like something that comes from someplace very profound, and it happens very quickly. So I do see in your reading here you being able to move through the more resistant energies with a swiftness that I think will feel really nice to you, and maybe bring you back into balance. Plus you had that Knight of Cups on the bottom when I looked. So I think that can signify that whatever this is that you might experience is going to lead you back into your heart space. So you can lead from your heart with your response to it, or your non-response, whatever you decide to do. Okay, let's get you a card from the Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle to close off your little mini read. Oof. You got number 17, consciousness. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. There you go. Beautiful blue energy. 17. 1 plus 7 is 8, the number of abundance. Okay, so I really feel like what's coming up for you, you're going to be able to, what I want to say is kind of separate your, I almost see like a little factory in your mind, and it's very busy and it's like all of this stuff is going on. But you're going to be able to take everything, the, you know, the happiness you feel, the resistance that you might bump into, and the fresh new message that comes in, and you're going to be able to lay it out, like kind of lay it out energetically in front of you and actually boost your understanding through that. Very cool the way I'm sensing you do this here. And I think it's something that I wouldn't overthink it. I think it's something that comes very naturally for you. It's just, it feels like a return to the heart. It feels like a return to the self. Okay, Libra? Wow. Okay, we're moving on. Cardinal energies. Libra started us off. We're on to Cancer next. Judgment card for Cancer on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so that's your significator card. Judgment, surrender, releasing, forgiveness, perhaps. Let's see what's next for Cancer here, please. Ooh, okay. So, what's up next for Cancerians here? All right. At first, okay, I don't feel a lot of forward momentum, but that's okay. The crabs walk side to side. Okay, I feel a little bit of this movement for Cancerians coming up next. A little bit of side to side, looking at it from this angle, looking at it from that angle, checking the flanks, kind of finding out, kind of like just surveying the field is what it feels like. I do see some sort of collaboration coming across from you with the Three of Pentacles, right? This could be a coming together of people. It could be a coming together of an understanding to do with finances or the material world. It could be a new awareness about what you want to invest in, Cancer, okay, and how you're going to actually bring that into the world. There's a new dynamic here. It kind of feels like you're moving from a more two-dimensional way of looking at something, like the side to side, and then the third point comes in and you're drawn to it. So with the Cancerian energy, I feel like you're drawn forward into some sort of collaboration. Could be with other people, could be with your understanding of how things fit together in your own life. AM said, thank you, I'm a Libra ascending and always thinking. Yes, it can be a very busy energy up there, but somehow Libras make it beautiful, right? Make that experience beautiful. So thank you for your lovely comment there. All right, so Cancer, we've got that Three of Pentacles. We've got that energy coming in. Also, the Three of Wands energy. So here you are, you're kind of laterally checking things out, but you know what's up for you as you're being pulled. I don't think it's going to be a super fast pull, but the wands do represent motion. They represent, again, the fire energy. So you have the earth and the fire energy so far. And what's really interesting about this card is I feel this is measured action. So it's not like you're taking a leap and like a huge risk. You're really observing the scene. You know you're going to be moving and you know you're going to be going forward with something. But at the same time, the Three of Wands gives you permission not to do that in a, like, what do I want to say? Impulsive way. All right. This is more measured. This would represent a little more planning going on. So I would say for you, with this awareness and this collaboration or the understanding you're coming to, your next steps could involve some planning and maybe just allowing yourself to enjoy that part of the process. So it may not feel like super active, like I'm going forward, but it can still be a flow. And that's what I get for you. So instead of moving side to side, maybe you begin to move forward, and just like the crab, the ocean might come in and the tide can carry you. That's what it feels like. So as you're carried by the tide, what do you want to plan? Something about planning something is important, and it feels like a good time for you to do that. Now, then you got some air energy with the Six of Swords, and this is being carried to calmer waters, right? This is moving away from stressful experiences. This could also represent the stress that you put on yourself, Cancer, about who you should be, how you should be. Because we got that Judgment card, I feel like you need to release something here. And this is the energy of you releasing that and being able to move on to the calmer waters that you enjoy, and a better flow for yourself here. So Cancerians, I feel like you're craving that. Your inner critic might be a little bit loud right now, and it would be a good idea to work on that a little bit. And then also some planning, right? And you don't want to, in your planning, you don't want to necessarily build in that critical voice, right? So this is the kind of planning where you don't put a lot of pressure on it, right? You're creating something and you're bringing something to life, but not in a way that feels super rigid or structured, okay? So let's get a Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle. These cards are sticky because I'm outside. It's still a little moist out here. It's not terribly humid. It's cooler, so it's nicer, but there's still a little bit of moisture in the air. Ooh, Cancer, you got number 33, Miracle. The frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. Yeah. So when you're planning, really taking time to consider the possibilities, or to see yourself, visualize, envision yourself already in those good feeling vibes that you want to create, what you want to move toward. Now, for others of you, I feel miracle is like you finally get that break. It can be a really good sign as like, okay, I finally get the break, something finally clicks, now I can move forward with confidence and grace and ease in the Cancerian way that you do things. So that could have a little double meaning for some of you there. Lots of threes. 3, 3, 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. And then 33. Woo! Cancer. 3 is your magic number right now, Cancer. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. We're moving on to the Aries tribe. Aries is up next. On the bottom of the deck is the 9 of Wands. So that's kind of significant. You could be working on something very interpersonal but connected to your ancestry, maybe looking back into your bloodlines, your blood codes. Atlantis, Lemuria could be coming up for our Aries right now, working on how this factors into your personality, the person that you've become, who you are today, okay? Aries, up next for you. Ooh, got an itch in my ear. And I think you're gonna be kind of like, oh, I gotta deal with some of these energies, but this is what's coming up. A remembrance first comes up. And this to me feels like one of the energies that is very necessary for you, Aries. For you, when you are reflecting, okay, so you may have really resonated with the reflection in the oracle reading, and in that calm and stillness. I think, Aries, some of you have the you all have the tendency to do this. You move forward and then you figure it out after the fact. Some of you are figuring out how you moved forward something, how you grew something, maybe with like not quite the energies you wanted to, okay? And so you're beginning to become aware of this. You're beginning to become aware of like, okay, maybe when I started that off, I didn't have the right idea about it. something in the practical world. This could be like you starting a job even, and then it wasn't what it seemed to be, and you're figuring out, what am I nurturing here in that? Am I nurturing an old pattern? I think for some of you, you might have an old pattern, and it what it's going to do is come up right in your face very soon. It feels like there's an old pattern that you nurtured, or you built your foundation on an old pattern, and you're revisiting something here with all of that. You also then kind of, I feel like this is a little bit of a shock for you. I feel like Aries kind of gets this electric shock, and it kind of jolts you back a few steps into the Five of Pentacles. Now remember, we had the Nine of Wands as a on the bottom of the deck, the significator card. And this to me feels like times when maybe you moved forward with something, but in all honesty, you were abandoning the reality of what was going on in the situation. Maybe you abandoned some of your own feelings about something, and you moved forward instead, and now it's kind of coming back around. It does feel, Aries, I'm just going to be honest, it feels like kind of a bite in the butt a little bit, okay, a bite in the rear, like, no, Aries, like, rewind, okay, like, rewind. You can't keep pushing forward without addressing this. So I think, Aries, some of you are definitely going to be dealing with kind of this like come to self moment with yourself. But what's beautiful about this, it's going someplace very, very important for you, very, very loving for you, and that's the Queen of Cups energy, okay? So you're learning to love yourself through this. Maybe some of you are loving yourself through a mistake, or you're loving yourself despite some sort of dysfunction in your family or your ancestry. You're loving yourself and holding sacred the importance of self-care. Some of you may have left your own self behind. Aries energy can do that sometimes because it wants to move, it wants to be busy, it wants to go, and sometimes it kind of bulldozes through things, and then it turns back around and says, wait a minute, why do I still feel empty? And so the Queen of Cups comes up and says, my dear, hello, my dear Aries, come back to yourself. Let's fill up this cup before we keep going. Let's fill up this cup. Let's pour some nice, fresh, clean water, perfectly pH'd water, onto this beautiful thing that you're growing. Let's give ourselves a chance to heal whatever way we feel abandoned or have abandoned ourselves. And let's come back to the heart of things here, Aries. So you may be working with some emotional energies that come forward through a very practical, real world kind of situation that catches your attention and brings you into this, oh, now here I am, back when I started, I was there, and that's what I've built this on, and maybe I need to recalibrate. Recalibrate feels like a word for you, Aries, like a good word for you. All right, let's get you a card from the Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle here. And as I was shuffling, I didn't know I had the deck upside down. Aries, it kind of feels like your energy gets caught a little off guard, and then you're resetting. You got number 13, coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart. That's that Queen of Cups, Aries. That's that Queen of Cups. With the frequency of the mind for the optimal ability to create the reality we desire. You all are recalibrating. You're coming into coherence. You're blending the energies of the heart and the mind into balance, right? And coming into this grander place, more optimal place for yourself. Okay, so there's definitely like what I would call divine purpose in what's up next for you and the experiences that you're having. Ooh, everybody's been so unique, but like so cool. How interesting. Kimberly's here. Yay, Kimberly. All right, guess what, Kimberly? Let me let that airplane pass, get a little sip of my apple cider vinegar drink. Kimberly, you're just in time for Capricorn reading. Capricorn is up next. I'm about to get into it. So, yeah. And I'll probably be going a little bit longer than 30 minutes. Maybe. I'm kind of flying through these, but we'll see. Might go a little bit past 12 today, my time. Bottom of the deck, Capricorn, King of Cups. This is your significator card for today's reading. So Kimberly, we are, and whoever else tunes into Capricorn, we are asking what's next for Capricorn. So we have the King of Cups. We're going to hold that in our heart there because the King is held in the emotional energies. So the King of Cups energy, lots of emotional energy being held right now. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Capricorn. So today, I didn't talk a lot about this before, but this is standing out now for you. You got a 10 here, and it's 10:10, and I always start the live at 10 a.m. So you're kind of like representing the 10 energy here. You've got the 10 of Pentacles. What's up next for you is the coming together of your energies in such a way that you begin to see your energetics resulting in something positive in your physical world, okay? 10 can be a number of completion. It can be a number of like, finally, something comes into fruition that I've been waiting for. Could definitely be with the pentacles, with the coins here, financial. Could be something to do with your health, getting an answer, having clarity about a health issue. Physical world things, okay? Moving, some of you, ecosystem, where to move to, okay? It's an energy of like, yeah, I've got it now. I feel good about this. I've got the answer. I've got the wisdom. I've got the raise. I got whatever it is. So this energy is coming in for you. And boy, is it making you feel real nice with the 9 of Cups here. So we had the King of Cups, right? Which is kind of that on top of the world feeling emotionally. Also a really good time for you to be able to process emotions. I kind of feel like your emotional intelligence is showing up here and you're able to process emotional energy. What I love about the 9 of Cups too is like you're really finding value in yourself and your relationship to particularly your emotional energies or your ability to intuit and to sense things. And the arms are crossed, which could represent you're a bit protective of that, Cappy. Okay, you might be a little bit protective of that right now. And I think that's okay. It doesn't feel like a wall. It doesn't feel like restrictive energy. It feels like I'm going to protect this. I have earned this. I have been waiting on this answer. I've been waiting on this clarity. I've been waiting on this to come in, and I am going to protect it and love it to the best of my abilities, because your emotional intuitive energies are really up for you over the next few weeks to month. And it's showing up here again with the Empress. So this is that major energy coming in. This is where you have that aha moment of, oh my goodness, I can be softer, okay? Like Capricorn, you know how to work. You know how to grind. You grind better than any sign, okay? But this is you having that aha moment of, I can like, I almost want to say you don't want to let go of the grind, but it's like you can grind the flow. That's what's crazy. It's like, it's going to feel like you're accomplishing and you're productive, but it's going to flow more, okay? But I feel you not wanting to kind of let go, because you're like, but when I grind, I'm so productive and it makes me feel active. I feel my energy's flowing. So this is an energy of, but you're in the flow now, right? So the grind might feel different, all right? It might feel different to you. And it should feel better, because the Empress is a very attractive force. So I think it's also like feeling so much better about something and so much clarity on something that you're like, more please, right? And so you can kind of magnetize on that energy. this is resonating with you guys, you just, Girl Gone says, no, I'm just protecting my energy and what I want. Good, 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 good. Yeah, and you know, we don't have to let everybody know our plans all the time. We want those supportive energies, and that's worth protecting, 100%. Protecting what you want, having your own best interests in mind, right? But what's really cool about the energy, I feel, is like you're evolving that energy of production and the work and the grind. Like you're evolving that as you go, and you don't have to, like, what's cool is you're not letting go of the essence of who you are. You're just, it's becoming softer, easier, more flowy. Kimberly says, I was just talking with someone the other day that the grind is where I felt comfortable because it's easy, but you're seeking more flow. AM has Capricorn Venus. Wow, so that could even pivot into you noticing that in relationships as well. Interesting. Very interesting. Lots of different angles here we can look at. Oh boy, this one came out the side of the deck for you. I love this, Capricorn, because like the other cardinal signs, you've come out of that, you know, we've had that Pluto, Capricorn, Aquarius, and I think I think Pluto is actually going direct in Aquarius today, tomorrow, something like that. And this for you, just it's, things are lightening up. You got number 19, delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke from others. Look at that beautiful sunshiny card. Delight. Yeah, and I think really delighting in the flow and delighting in the energies, you know, with that King of Cups and the Empress, you're really going to be feeling it, allowing yourself to feel it, and allowing yourself to feel good, right? Allowing yourself to feel good about this, about protecting your energies and your dreams and your visions, about what you hold dear, what you value. I'm getting a very like cherished, coveted energy that you can continue to work with within yourself. So Capricorn, wow, good. I love that energy. Very beautiful for you. Scorpio is up next. Scorpio, bottom of the deck, the Temperance card. Temperance card. Some patience, patiently awaiting your season to arrive, Scorpio. Perhaps. Let's look into what's up next for Scorpio energies here. Oof. Scorpio could not let Libra have all the sunshine. I'll give you that clue there. Temperance card. Okay. This is very, very interesting, Scorpio. You are going to be bringing the fire to something for sure. Again, lots of fire. You and Libra, definitely. I don't know if it's because we're the proximity to your seasons or what, but the sun energy comes up for you, Scorpio. This could be also some of you taking a break from the depths. Maybe you've been doing some shadow diving and some work in the mysteries. Maybe you've been delving into, because Scorpio's not afraid to delve into the heavier energies. This is you coming back up and maybe rising like with the sun and just, you know, kind of coming up, getting some sunshine, that vitamin D energy. I'm feeling it a little bit different than I did for Libra. This is more of like you coming up into this lit up energy, right? And maybe it's something that you processed and figured out while you were kind of in those mysteries and in the darkness. You're coming up to experience the light. You could be very sensitive about the solar activity also going on right now. I think it's going to activate you though. I get a very activating kind of feeling here, and I've got a lot of energy. I need to burp there. I got a lot of energy coming up for you, Scorpio. You're going to be moving into something that you're really passionate about. You're going to be taking steps in that direction. We've got the Knight of Wands here. Very, very active card. So whereas in some of the other signs, I was feeling the flow and the softness, I'm feeling action for you. And what's going to be interesting is some of you have a mixture of these energies in your 4 pillar placements that I mentioned: sun, moon, rising, or north node, right? And so, wow, some of you may be having different areas of your life, right? spark in different ways while other areas are quiet, you know. So really take a look at that, because you want to look at the complete picture. Just a reminder there. And some of you also, I'm getting for Scorpio, some of you may want to look in your Mars energy as well. So if you're a Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, or north node, also look at your Mars energy, okay? Or those of you that have Mars in Scorpio, all right? Powerful energy. I'm getting kind of that feeling of like, it's like a level up, a power boost kind of feeling. I think you've come up into some really bright energies, something that's lighting you up. It's connected with your passion and your actions, which is great. And you move from the night, you have this beautiful progression from the night, Scorpio, into the queen, So the night is taking a lot of action. That maybe is more representative of the active masculine energy, going out and maybe seeking and getting what you want, and then bringing it home to the queen, right? We've got the sunflowers all over these cards here. So there's a representation for you. We got a black cat, which is beautiful because you get to embody that mystery. You still get to have a bit of that secrecy in the shadows that you like to have, but you're also embodying something brilliant and bold and beautiful with the queen. And I think you're going to be very seen, Scorpio. You're going to be very seen, very out there. Like I feel you on stage, so to speak. So let's get a closing card for you, but this feels very activating, very fiery, very present. This card came right out the side. Some of you got some things to say, and you're going to start saying it to people. You got number 5, the throat chakra. So we're talking about the throat energetic region here. The frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression, right? Very expressive of your passion, and our sense of peace and balance as well. I think this has been building up in some of you Scorpios here, and you're really going to come out with something very profound. You have something to share. You need to speak it to someone, okay? I feel this energy like it's like bursting, like I'm bursting at the seams. It's bursting out of me. I can like feel like I can hardly contain it. And it's because you've spent a lot of time in the mysteries and exploring, and maybe you've even been hidden for a little bit, but you're coming out. You're coming out. AM has the Mars in Scorpio. Okay. So AM, are you feeling, you know, that pull? Because I know, didn't you mention earlier about like the structure? Are you wanting to kind of blast into that? Are you wanting to, you know, let me know. Let me know. I'm going to carry on, but I love to hear your all's comments, and I try to round back to them. Leo is up next. Leo got the Chariot energy. Control, firm, balanced energy. All right, let's see. Let's see what's up for Leo next. So we're in our fixed signs now. We've done the cardinals. We've done Libra, Cancer, Aries, Capricorn. We did Scorpio and Leo. Tired, but very busy. Yes, isn't it interesting how those energies can all exist? And I'm wondering what the key will be for you, AM, to get I want to say not tired, just be not tired, rejuvenated, so that you can feel more energy as you're busy. And maybe it's also, this is coming up maybe in the Leo reading for a reason too. Maybe it's also about having a different perspective on the busyness, and maybe trying to look at the busyness as fullness and put a little excitement behind that. Like, wow, my life is so full, you know, because when you're tired and very busy, that can begin to creep into the overwhelmed kind of zone of feeling. Maybe putting a little bit different spin on it. Your life is so full and you're learning so much. But, you know, in our Oracle reading too, we did get a lot of permission to chill and like relax into things as well. So look for those energies in your chart as well, where you can like tap into that so you feel more rejuvenated. Leo energy. Leo showing up with fire. I would expect that out of Leo, fire sign. We got the Page of Wands. Leo is very curious. We got our curious cats. We're very curious here about something. We're learning about something new, perhaps, or we are taking a look at ourselves, Leo, as to, let me see where I want to be with this, because I am very curious about it. I know I'm going to move that direction, but the page is new to something. There's brand new energies here coming up for you, Leo. That's what's up next. New energy. It really sparks your curiosity. Could be a person for some of you, could be a relationship, Leo. But it also could just be something related to the next part of your journey, your passion, what you're going to do next. You got the Ace of Wands up next. And you're being given that fresh new start, having to do with passionate energies. Like I said, I am feeling for some of you, this could be like a spark in your relationship, like kind of like a heat up. The passionate energies kind of really come out. This could be about you grabbing on to something that you know you love and that you want to lead in a certain way. Okay, so I'm also getting Venus in Leo for some of you. So I know I'm Venus in Leo. Jason, if you're still listening, you're Venus in Leo as well. So it could be a good time for us, you know, from what I'm seeing here. The Sun also, the Sun card just keeps coming out, y'all. This is beautiful because I love this energy coming out along with what we've been talking about with the solar flares and everything, and then the waning energies of the moon. We are really stretching. We are really expanding here. And I think, Leo, you're really expanding. You're really expanding your energies. You're already a very bright character, right? You're already very dramatic and bold, and you know, when you roar, and when you love big. But this is even more expansion of that. And I was thinking this morning about and thinking about like the Chariot too, is like Leo has such a big heart. When Leo is able to really get in the heart, when they can get in their heart, they can really like shine that heart light out there, like ET, you know, turn on your heart light. Okay, so with the Chariot though, maybe some of you Leos are worried that you might be a little too much or something. I would say work on that insecurity a little, because you're meant to expand into these energies. It feels very bold. It feels very much like this is your leveling up. This is more passion. This is, you know, that ignition. It's there. It's something very new. You're enjoying it. It's complementary. With the Chariot coming up at first, though, I would say don't try to, you know, control it or demean it or make it lesser than it is. AM says, I vacillate between doing nothing and too much. Whew. Yes, I feel that many times. Many times been there. Jason says here, Leos are Care Bears. Yes, they can absolutely be that. Absolutely. And Leo, you got number 14, communication. So this is meant to be shared. What you're curious about, this new passion you feel, what you're expanding into, communication is a huge part of it. Now remember, there's verbal communication, there's energetic communication, there's emotional communication. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through where? Where do we run this information from? Bonus points. Put it in the chat. Where do we run every piece of information? This is for every sign, okay? So Leo is sharing something very important here. Where do we share it? Where do we run all the information through? Trick question. Okay, I'll tell you because nobody's commenting. I know there's a delay too, but we run every piece of information through the heart, okay? The heart is the processing center. Incoming and outgoing energies through our heart, which is the center of our truth, to stay in the flow of source and balanced exchange. AM nailed it, the heart. Communication through the heart. This is not about logic. This is not about, I got to put it through the filter of every little category and corner of my mind and buzz it through every little experience I've had and try to file it away or, you know, define it some way. This is the heart. The heart transmutes and transforms and integrates all of that. So that is, and to me, that is the highest and best nature of the Leo energy in its expanded form. And that's what's up for Leo. So get out there, Leo. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if you're going to need rest because you're so curious and so excited about the energies that are going on for you, Leo. So there you go. Taurus. Taurus is up next. Taurus, Ace of Cups as the significator card. New emotional energies for you as well. Okay, I'm definitely getting a more watery vibe for you than fire, but we'll see what comes up. What's next for Taurus? Ace of Cups energy, new love, more watery energy. No, you're saying no water. I kind of get like, there's this really cute meme. And this is for the earth signs out there, but it's coming up for Taurus here, where it's like, you've got like two of the My Little Ponies in the water and they're water signs and they're splashing around. They're like pretending like they're mermaids and having a blast. And it says water signs above it. And then like on the edge of the field or whatever, then like next to the water, to the creek, there's two ponies who are just staring at them like, what are you doing? And the ponies in the water are like, come in here, it's so much fun. And the earth signs that are standing on the side of the shore are like, oh hell no, that don't, no, we're not having it. And that's kind of what I feel with that Taurus energy coming in right now. So a little bit of that stubbornness coming in, but I think there's a reason that you're a little bit like that right now. You're maybe in a bit of a hermit mode, or you want to be, you're about to be. And, you know, I would never discourage anybody from spending time in this hermit mode, because to me, the hermit is where all that inner wisdom arises. The hermit is honestly the master magician. The number 9 here, it is also connected to Virgo energy. So we do have the mind included. The mind gets to be a part of this here, and it gets to analyze things if it wants to, right? And so some of you in the Taurus energies here, you may be grounding into this energy. You might be kind of taking a little time to yourself. I think there's something that you're working on internally. You got the 7 of Wands. I think there might be a little bit of a feeling of I'm aware, or I'm feeling like I have to defend myself. This could be coming up next for you. Like you may feel like you have to defend yourself, hold your ground. Maybe some of you have dedicated yourself to this hermit mode and this hermit way. And so someone else isn't respecting that perhaps. And so you're having to defend, or maybe kind of hold off that person or those energies, which is okay. Sometimes we need to create that space. I'm kind of going back to that energy of like, you don't have to share everything with everyone outwardly. Your reading feels very different than Leo's as far as what's up next. I think you're going to be really going into these waning moon energies. Here's a bee, busy bee, busy bee, busy bee. It must smell my vinegar. I put a little honey in the vinegar, and I think that's what it's excited about. It's over here like flying around. But hello, goodbye, maybe. So I love when the bees and the creatures visit. But yeah, you're protecting this hermit energy. You're maybe feeling like I'm not going to be drawn out before I'm ready, kind of thing. Now, Taurus, you do have to be a little bit comfortable. You can get in that comfort zone. You can get a little lodged in there. But with the 8 of Pentacles coming in, I think you're going to be working on it. So I'm not too worried about you, because while you're in this mode, while you're in this time, you're going to be working on something. So it's not like you're just stubbornly holding on, right? you did have that Ace of Cups. You did have that Ace of Cups, so the water wants to flow. Maybe some of you are refilling your cup at this time. You're still working through it, but you have to be a little more boundaried with things, and you just need that time. So I would say it's good. Don't feel too drawn out. If you're feeling depleted, be sure to take the time to rest and rejuvenate and get in some of that. It almost feels like an empty battery. Get your battery levels back up, Taurus. So some of you are either experiencing that already, or you might be experiencing something. Also, I feel like for Taurus energy, some of you may bump into something that puts you in this state, meaning like you could get sick, or you could get a headache, or you could, you know, I don't know, your work shuts down or something, and you find yourself with, like, it could be kind of good. You're like, oh, I don't have to go to work today, but it could be like a storm. It could be something that comes in and like kind of puts you almost through these cards all over the place. Taurus, it kind of puts you in this. And I feel the energy is very different for each of the readings today. Taurus, I feel that kind of like I want to kind of go away in a cave for a little bit and just kind of peer out and stare at things. That's kind of how I feel. And you know, that's where the Hermit energy can come in really, really helpful, because there's something in there. What was that? Oh my, I think it was the squirrels. The squirrels can be really funny sometimes and really loud. Okay, number 16. You got conception. So this is interesting. The frequency of conception, Taurus, invites you to bring your consciousness to origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can do to manifest through our focused awareness and intention. This may be something you're working on. Look at that, conception energy. This could take some of you Tauruses back all the way to your birth experience and being born, conceived, and born into the world. What was going on with your parents at the time? You could have some ancestral healing coming up for you, learning to love yourself through that, learning to fill your cup, okay? And if that requires that hermit time to kind of check out for a minute, then that's what you are going to be doing, okay? Aquarius. Aquarius is up next, y'all. Okay, Aquarius. This is our last fixed sign to go through. And very interestingly, on the bottom of the deck for Aquarius, we got the Wheel of Fortune, which has illustrations of all the fixed signs in yellow in every corner. So we've got our bull, we've got our lion, we've got our Aquarian, water bearer, and we've got an eagle. So it's eagle instead of a scorpion in the world card. I'm sorry, not world card. I want to say world card. So I'm wondering, Aquarius, if something's coming to closure for you. It's like you've been trying to close out something, because I keep wanting to say world, but it's Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. Something's definitely changing for you, and it feels like a closing out kind of energy to me. So let's see, what's up for Aquarius right now? What's not up right now, but coming up? Coming up for Aquarius right now. What's this energy I'm feeling coming up here? Yep, you're closing out a cycle, Aquarius. You're walking away. This is the Eight of Cups. Some of you may be closing out relationships or relationship dynamics that you've carried for quite some time. You may be bringing closure to that. I think you're recognizing the more subtle energies of how you truly feel about things. And I think you're honoring when you need space and distance. Okay, that's very important here. I also feel like you are moving from, it almost feels like a harder, crisper energy into a softer energy. This is something you desire. Partnerships are coming up here. There's been lessons learned. You're ready to move into like that Nine of Cups, maybe bring your own personal pride. Remember the Nine of Cups, you're sitting here very proud of what you've accomplished. It could be something emotional you're resolving with that Wheel of Fortune, but it's definitely a closure and ending. particularly might be around relationships or relationship dynamics, even if you're not with someone. We're constantly dealing with relationship dynamics. We got the Two of Cups for you, Aquarius. This is about partnership. This is about you redefining maybe even what partnership means to you, how you will partner with other people, whether it be romantic or platonic. All right, the exchange of energy between you and others is up for you right now. Okay, that's coming up for you. I kind of feel like you're already in it, and maybe again it has to do with this Pluto direct and Aquarius energy. I think some of you are already in this, but it's going to continue on for a bit because I think the lessons are very woven into your relationships right now. You also got this card with the Eight of Swords. This is not a very comfortable energy for our Aquarians. They are more free-spirited and carefree. So when an Aquarius realizes they might be limiting themselves, which I think is what is going on here, maybe some of you realizing through your relationships that you've been limiting yourself and your freedom in some way, shape, or form, this is coming to your attention. So you're not going to want to stay here for very long. It may come up and you may see. This could also represent just the reflections you have of the way that you had kept yourself closed off or kept yourself small due to relationship dynamics and relational dynamics. Lots of relationship energies coming up for you here, Aquarius. Lots of relationship energies. So really take a good look over the next few weeks to a month on your relationships. Let yourself be informed. If you need that distance and space, take a little bit of that because you're redefining what it means. And especially, like, I feel like you're going to be releasing yourself from something that has had you trapped before. Aquarius doesn't like to feel that way, right? Aquarius doesn't like to feel trapped. Now, when we talk about relationships, I am getting other people dynamics. You could also take that into workspace, though, and what kind of workspace energy and the relationship there as well. So that could come through in that manner for some of you. Okay. Thank you, Girl Gone. See you next time. Have a lovely day. Come back and listen to the rest of the signs if you get a chance. I'll have the timestamps on. Okay. So Aquarius, number 6, the third eye, okay? Wow, you have to reclaim that free spirit of yours. And I think this next couple weeks, this next month of energies that you're going to be rolling through really have you coming back into that psychic wisdom energy, okay? And that translates into your free spirit, your freedom. It says the frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intention and our inner knowing, our imagination and our psychic powers. Yes, there it is. So through this reassessment of relationships, partnership energy, how you relate to others, how you've been, how maybe you've caused yourself a little bit of cagedness or feeling trapped, how maybe, because the Eight of Swords is all about, this can be self-imposed energy very much. And the binds are not strict. So she can free herself, he can free himself at any time. We can free ourselves at any time. And there's like new psychic awareness coming in as a result of this, which I love that. I love that. I think that's very good energy. Okay, shall we move on now to the mutable signs today? Okay, we're going to go a little bit past 12. I know some of you got work and other things to do. I do too, but if you can continue hanging out, please do. We got Sagittarius up next for our mutable signs. Saggy. Okay, I think I'm back. It's going to come back for you guys. I got a phone call and I tried to send it to voicemail, and then it locked it until the person left their voicemail. I'm still here. I'm still here. Refresh, refresh. Yeah, someone tried to call. Okay. Whew. Sagittarius. Okay, so Sagittarius, the bottom of the deck, your significator card is the Five of Wands. A challenge, a training maybe coming up for you, something that might challenge you, a puzzle, something's puzzling. Let's see what's going on for Sagittarius up next. Ooh, yeah, something's coming for you, Saggy. Oh, Lord. Whew. Sagittarius, I think you've got a bit of an awakening coming up here, a call to reality. Yeah, you know, and earlier in the live, I was mentioning, you know, some of the energies that elude me sometimes, and Sagittarius is one of them. And I got a mosquito bite, and I'm feeling a little agitated as I get into their energy. All of this is divinely timed so that this message comes through for you, Saggy. You got the tower, Sagittarius. So something is going to kind of maybe turn your world upside down, all right? Or your reality, or what you thought was your reality. I do feel that some of you may have been ignoring something that you need to deal with, perhaps. So this would be your message to go ahead and, is there something you need to attend to? This could be a message about, like, this could be things like the tower. This is Uranus energy. This is like you lose your job, you get laid off. This is the energy of, you know, your healthcare plan goes away, and all of a sudden you don't have what you need, you know, to function with that. It could be relationship ending, or maybe finding out someone has passed away, something that really kind of shakes your world up a bit, okay? Something significant. It's a major arcana card. I think this is going to put you in a bit of an opportunity here. And even though you might look at it and you might say, well, Stephanie, that's not good. That's not what I want next. I want to like set my goals and shoot for my goals and, you know, high and lofty and be in that energy, and I want to fire it up. You can do that, Saggy, but you can't deny the energies upon you, and the energies upon you, the 10 of Wands. Though this is a 10, though this might feel like a heavy energy, I think it's heavy for you because it's something you've avoided in the past, okay? It's something that you haven't really been able to see through, right? Obviously, we don't want this person bent over like this, hurting their back, trying to carry this heavy load like this where they can't even see where they're going, right? And so some sort of clarity wants to come in for you, Sagittarius, but you have to deal with this situation of, whoa, this has happened. Some of you might even feel that coming. It feels like a disruption, a disruptive energy, but it's actually trying to teach and train you. Remember, I got that training kind of vibe when I was looking at the bottom of the deck. I was, yeah, like that 5 of Wands is going to be challenging. It's going to be tricky, but there's no way around it. You can either keep carrying this, and if you keep carrying that burden, if you don't work through these energies, you're going to end up with the 5 of Pentacles, which is feeling abandoned, betrayed, self-loathing, that kind of, you know, energy. But there's a purpose to all this for you, Sagittarius. This is coming up for a reason. And I think on the other side of things, what it's going to do... Ooh, I think there was a bug in my hair. I don't like bugs in my hair, do you guys? Yeah, I'm like very agitated in your reading here. I think you're going to be agitated about whatever this is, what's ever coming up. But it, you know, when we have those tower moments, when we have those realizations, even if at first we have this like kind of, it almost feels like cognitive dissonance breaking down, like something you thought was real is not real. You're realizing something was false, and it just all, or something that was there is no longer there, and it kind of all falls to the ground. We have to allow ourselves to go through this heaviness, all right? So my advice on this is don't try to escape this. Actually feel through the way it makes you feel, okay? Feel through the way it makes you feel. Feel into where these fears or these insecurities might be coming from in response to this event, okay? Because why? Because you are learning to become a more expert alchemist. You got number 8, alchemy, Sagittarius. The frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. So there you go. Alchemy is very sexy and exciting, and it's a wonderful energy, Sagittarius, until you realize that you go through this to alchemize some of the best materials within yourself, okay? You're literally going through turning lead, something that feels lead-like, very heavy, right? Very hard to see through. Doesn't feel good. I feel betrayed, abandoned, left out, victimized, whatever, right? I have got to alchemize those energies. So if you take the time to do this, then you will create, you know, a new abundance in your life. But it looks like something you're meant to go through. It looks like something you have to go through. It's not something that you can avoid, right? Not something that you can get away from. Shall we move on? Wow, Saggy, that was heavy. That was heavy, I'm not gonna lie, but Sagittarius, you're the archer. You will find that spring in your bow again, so do not despair. Let's move on to Virgo. Virgo, you got the 8 of Wands. Fast, powerful messages and energies coming in for you. And I hope that wasn't a mosquito in my hair. I don't like mosquitoes. All right, Virgo. What's up next for Virgo? What's up next for Virgo? That one's coming out the side there. Ooh, yeah, lots of fast energies for you, Virgo. Very, very interesting. You've got fast energies, but you also are showing me balance here, which is good. I like the movement of the quickness of things, and it feels very, very like we've got momentum here. But we also have happiness. We have emotional embodiment here with the 10 of Cups. This is feeling good about the home space, feeling good about family. This is feeling connected, all right? This is feeling like, man, I can do this. I can manage all this. So if those of you Virgos out there have had a trouble maybe feeling like it's hard to manage everything or you have a lot spinning, this is that moment where you feel like, okay, everything is lining up, right? And I'm feeling good and I'm embracing this energy. I'm embracing how I feel about things, even if I don't feel great about things. This is much to do with embracing the emotional energies or having traveled through different emotional energies, right? And so you may be, yeah, like Jason said, it could just be that I'm going to be feeling good. I am feeling good and I'm going to be feeling good. And I think you feel good enough to take some sort of really swift and positive action with the Knight of Swords here. If there's something you've been trying to go for it. The Knight of Swords is definitely an active card. And even though it's a sword, the Knight of Swords can move so fast that they don't always think about things. Now, normally I'd be a little bit worried about that, but coming in with the 10 of Cups, I feel like the emotional balance is there and you're ready. You're ready to charge forward, right, into that next thing that really lights you up, that really brings you that great feeling of momentum and like you're productive and you're recognized and you're valued and you're getting something done here, okay? And at the same time, Virgo, you're getting the message. I almost feel like a Gemini energy, and I know we're going into Gemini next, but you got the 6 of Pentacles. Don't forget about other people around you. Bring into balance your gratitude and your experience with those around you. What kind of exchanges are you going through? Are you really, truly in a balanced cycle of giving and receiving. How are you allowing yourself to receive? Are you making the effort to give? Remember, he's holding the scales here. It's kind of like a minor arcana of the Justice card or the Libra energies. You have to remember balance. So even though you might be moving rather quickly or going for something, don't leave behind those who care and love you or watching for you, particularly those that might have less knowledge or less wisdom. So that's, remember, we're in the 10 of Cups. We want everybody to see this. We want everybody to know what Virgo knows, to feel what Virgo feels. We want to do that, and it's got to be done in balance. Because why? Because not everybody is always ready for that, right? You may be, and yes, you move forward with that decisively, but keep in mind that others might be in a little bit different energy here, which it's pentacles, it's earth energy, and you're an earth sign, Virgo, but I see you also very much in the mental space, which, you know, is not abnormal for you because you like to analyze. But also with the 10 of Cups here, that brings me a little bit of peace too, because I know you'll be able to figure this balance out between the cups and the swords, the mind and the heart. Okay, the mind and the heart space. Yep, you're meant to synergize. You got number 41, Virgo. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of the not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that the new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality here. Well, Virgo, I feel like out of all the signs I read, I feel like you all have taken the most on your plate or in your energetics right now. So be sure to take time for this synergizing. You're bringing a lot together, but you want it to be balanced, okay? You want it to be balanced. You might, as you move into the next few weeks, you might struggle with moderation sometimes on a couple things. So if you find yourself, you know, enjoying too much sugar like we talked about at the beginning of the live, or you find yourself immersed in, like, you're scrolling in social media and you're just on the phone too much, moderation is going to be the key for you, because you're meant to synergize the energies. And that means you need to have a perspective that's more of the full playing field. Gemini's up next. Gemini, your significator card is the 7 of Pentacles. So I think Aries had this too. 7 of Pentacles for our Gemini energy here. You're nurturing something. You're watching something grow, Gemini. Perhaps you're watching the fruits of your labor produce. Perhaps you are growing yourself, okay? Growing the connection that you have with things in the physical world. Oh my gosh, it's a double message. It's a double message. I'm not surprised. Gemini, you get a little bit of everything. But first of all, being Gemini, of course, I shuffled and I got the 7 of Pentacles again. That's a double message for you, Gemini. So it affects, that was a squash bug that just fell down there. There's a couple squash bugs up here. Gemini, double message with the 7 of Pentacles. What you are nurturing right now, what you are growing. I feel like to give you, Gemini, a little bit of caution. I think you're on the right track with taking things a little bit slower here. I think that, you know, good and lasting and stable change sometimes happens slowly over time. There's another part of you, being the twins that you are, Gemini, that wants to kind of steal away with things quicker. Like in your mind, you get to the point where you just want to move faster. You just want to carry on. You just want to go grab these things and let's get out of here kind of energy. But the 7 of Pentacles is like, wait a minute, slow down. Don't succumb to those energies of like the quick fix or getting things done super quick. Allow things to take time to grow. I think you get Gemini, I think you get a little maybe attracted into these energies of like, let's just, or maybe this is the feeling of I need to get the heck out of here. Maybe some of you just need a little change of scenery. You need to take a day trip or go to the beach or go to the mountains or do something like that, because I think you're feeling, it feels almost like your time is stolen. Does that make sense? Maybe y'all are having some timeline shifting going on or something like that, perhaps. Yes, Blaze, we hear them. You also got the Tower. And I kind of feel for you, Gemini, this feels more like the kind of attention that you receive. Okay, like, is it shocking? Like, is it the kind of attention you want? Are you attracting the kind of clients you want? I think there's something going on here, something changing. I mean, you have 2 sevens. That's the number of change and momentum and movement. So all these energies seem to be clashing together. And that's why maybe it feels like some of your timelines are shifting here. Also, I would look at what's coming into you, what's coming into your awareness. This doesn't feel like a huge tower, like big shakeup like Sagittarius has. This feels to me more like you shaking things up and trying to make sense of it, but it's like the snow globe where it's like you're looking into it and you've shaken it up and it hasn't settled yet. It's just all over the place. That's what it feels for me. And I feel you pulled one way and then pulled another. Very interesting. That 7 of Pentacles is kind of your grounding point, though. If you are a gardener or you do anything with the dirt or just time outside, I think that would be very, very good for you, healthy for you right now. Because I think it's like about you accepting what you're building for the long term and the slower pace. Yet Gemini is so active and fun, and they want things moving a little faster, but you can't deceive yourself about the longevity and the benefits of the long term that you're trying to start to create, right? Tressa says, yay, Geminis. Yes, struggling with time, those timelines, and I haven't started the garden. Oh, that's okay. You will. You will start it. Yeah, Gemini, I think with the energies I'm seeing, that I do see you putting effort in. I do see you very active in these energies. So maybe that return to the heart is important for you too, with the heart chakra card here, number 4. The frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. And there's like that green vibe. So get your green thumb, get your hands in the dirt, be with the green things, right? The green. I feel like maybe even like having a little vibrational frequency with the green color, green energy. Maybe wear some green. Maybe you have green eyes. Maybe it just feels very potent for you to be in that. That will really help put you in your heart space. It seems so easy, but that's kind of the answer there for you as you deal with what's coming up, as you deal with all these swirling energies that's coming up for you. Okay, interesting, Gemini. Very different take on that tower than Sagittarius had. They can come up differently sometimes. Pisces. Pisces is up the last of our mutable signs, and we will be done. Our 12th and final, our 12th house energies. And we got the Lovers, which is very interesting on the bottom of the deck. The Lovers is actually the Gemini card. So maybe Pisces is doing a little shout out saying in that Pisces spirit, I love you, Gemini, and I'm here for you. Maybe there's those aspects of yourself that are talking to one another. But what's up next for our Pisces? What's up next here? Ooh, okay. Oh. No matter what cards you pull, Pisces will always get you in your feels a bit here. So Pisces, what I'm kind of getting in your reading here is that some of you carry with you that energy of things are going good. When's the shoe going to drop? When's something going to come in and ruin what's good, because you're in the King of Pentacles here, Pisces, and this is a really stable place to be. It is the place where abundance finds you. It is your manifestation energies in the real world, your ability to attract money, and but not only money, things that are of value to you. Could be more time, more energy, you know, love and partnerships, those kind of things. You did get the Lovers. It's a very dynamic energy, but it's also, the King of Pentacles is resting, right? He's not the most active of all of the kings. He's kind of the slower one that'll kind of let things come to him. But I don't know. It's like something about your energy, Pisces, and what you're going to be dealing with is this like, things can't be this good. Like, I feel like you're dealing with that, and it stresses you out. I almost said stretches. Maybe it does stretch you out. Maybe you're kind of stretching into some energies of, wow, like amidst everything that I'm enjoying and that things that are going well and seem to be lined up, I feel stressed and stretched by this kind of underlying wound of like, there's something about my beliefs and my thoughts and my fears that has me wondering when like everything's going to get wrecked almost. I kind of feel that defeating kind of energy for you, Pisces, and this is something you're meant to deal with. You're meant to address this over the next couple weeks. You got the moon energy here. This is definitely going into the shadows, definitely going into where did this start for you? For those of you who carry this energy, where did this start? For others of you, you may be, this may be, and I'm getting, maybe there's two groups of Pisces here. And one of you is dealing with this wounding of like, I've got it good, but it's going to be taken away, or when's the shoe going to fall, you know, and then it can't continually be this good. You're struggling there. And then there's others of you who I think have become very affected in your sensitive energies, become very affected by the greedy dynamic of the world. And I think some of you have absorbed some of that energy. So when we look at the shadow aspect, since we have the moon here of this King of Pentacles, you could be looking at the world and just saying, why is it so unbalanced? Why is it so unfair? I would like, Pisces energy wants everyone to be happy. They want everyone to feel loving energies. They want everyone to have enough. And I think some of you are really dealing with this. Be very, very mindful about what you're tuning into in the news and things like that, because you're very easily stressed. It's not that that dynamic isn't real and not something we're trying to evolve out of. I just think that you've maybe absorbed some of the energies, and over the next few weeks to a month, I'd really like to see you deal with that. And you'll notice in these mutable signs here at the end, I've become very uncomfortable the whole time. There is some like friction. There's some good things in here, but there's also some agitation. So Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces, be mindful of that. Be ready with, and maybe see how you can build your ship that you can sail more smoothly. There's some reinforcement, and Pisces is kind of coming in and saying, yes, let me close this out by saying how important it is in order to create the new reality, to really take a look at these things. So some of you Pisces are very burdened by the state of the world. You've absorbed some of that energy. You're going to be working on letting it go. Why? Because you might be feeling a little disempowered by it. You got the number 26, empowerment. The frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others, which is what you love to do, Pisces, in the deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. That's your shamanic energy, Pisces, that you're meant to be in, empowerment. So, you know, the road doesn't look smooth for everybody in some of these energies coming up. Or there may be just little areas of your life. One area is looking brilliant, you're moving forward. Another area needs a little attention, but we are multi-dimensional creator beings, and Pisces has just reminded us of that. And they're a wonderful, I love Pisces energy to close off things, because they bring us back to our place of power, our connection with source, how we can actually open up the ignition through our connection with creator source, through the higher force, and then using it in our will force into the world. So we're looking at some very real energies here. Some are positive, some are maybe what you would consider negative or frictional energies, but all of them inform us and they help us grow and evolve. And it was just really interesting because the sun came out from behind the clouds as I was talking about that. So, you know, have faith, have hope. We're in Libra season. Let things come into balance. This is on the bottom of the deck now, that Six of Pentacles. Really focus on a balanced giving and receiving there, right? Really be mindful of what you're absorbing. It has been an awesome Frequency Friday. Oh, I thank you all, the 7 of you still here, for hanging out with me, even through the little glitches. Since I'm not as close to my Wi-Fi, I'm further out from the house. I think that it froze a couple times, and with getting an incoming call and everything, but thank you so much. I'll just reiterate, let me cover one more time for those of you who weren't here at the beginning. I shouted out my moderators. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much for all that you do and for your presence here. The upcoming Q&As where you get the free mini readings on those Sunday evenings, 7 to 8 p.m. Central, October 19th, November 2nd, November 16th, and December 14th. There will be no Sunday nights on the 30th of November or the 28th of December due to the holidays. But until next time, my beautiful friends in Soul Tribe, I love you all, and I can't wait to see you again. Yay!